Hey, what's going on, Scooby Snack Virgin Gang? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Sorry about the upload schedule. I've had things going on in my life. Had some things where work has been getting in the way. Going to be going back and forth for work. Nothing too crazy. Nothing that's actually affecting me. I do appreciate the patience. Just you're going to see uploads happen sporadically. Nothing I can really do about that. I apologize. Hope you stick around for that. If not, I completely understand. I haven't pissed anybody off in a little bit. It's been a few days since that's happened. Let's change that, hopefully. What I'm talking about is not something that I personally think is too controversial, but the community is going to have to be dealing with this shit now. Apparently, it's just something that we have to accept. It's just a known fact now. Gravity and altered cards now are just two facts that exist. Altered cards is what I'll be talking about. I'm going to be talking about a specific instance that I saw on Instagram. I don't really care who did what. I don't really have any issues with either person, but this happened and it shouldn't have happened in the first place. Going to be talking about this. This was a Instagram sale of a first edition Charizard between Only Hollows and the PokeHunt.tcg. Let's actually crack into this bad boy real quick. And once again, altered cards. Shouldn't be controversial, but apparently it is. You should be very careful when purchasing vintage Pokemon cards from Only Hollows. I recently made that mistake when I purchased an altered first edition Shadowless Charizard. Here's exactly how it went down, and I hope this doesn't happen to anyone else out there. So he showed pictures immediately. Only Hollows is the one that's selling this Charizard, and the PokeHunt.tcg is the one purchasing this. They put this Instagram story up a couple days ago. I saw it. I meant to actually do a video on it, just got busy. But this got me thinking about the state of altered cards and them going around in general. Now, I'm going to put a disclaimer out there real quick. Yes, I know Only Hollows and the PokeHunt.tcg have solved this problem, allegedly. I know they've actually talked this out, and a refund was given. I know that. But this situation should have never happened in the fucking first place. I'm going to get to that here in a little bit, but this is something interesting, and it's a good talking point just to discuss fucked up cards in the first place. I've always preferred a raw card over a graded card. Me too, I always prefer a raw card over a graded card as well. There are some exceptions, though. I did pick up this little beauty right here. This is actually one of my favorite alternate arts. This is going to be the Zapdos Galarian style, and it's going to be the one that looks like Kazooie. I just like that. I think it's really good. I think it's one of the best alt arts we've gotten. Some people are going to disagree. Umbreon, Moonbreon, to the fucking moon. Yeah, good. You and everybody else. Cool. Way to be super original. I like that stuff. So when Only Hollows posted on his story that he was selling a first edition Shadowless Charizard, I jumped at the opportunity. Of course, I had to do my due diligence. I asked for a couple more pictures. We went back and forth, but never ever during our conversation did he mention that the card was altered, colored in any way, shape, or form. So this is where it's going to kind of get in a little bit of a gray area. I don't really know too much what happened. I just saw that this was the instance. I don't know if Only Hollows knew that the card was altered. I don't know if the PokeHunt.tcg also knew if the card was altered buying it. I'm not too sure about that. What I do know is looking at these pictures right here, especially in the corners, putting them up right here for you, you can very clearly see that somebody took a fucking marker and tried to make this shit look a little blue, or tried to actually get that out there and try to flatten that shit up and make it look like it was a better condition than it actually was. And then, of course, it's a first edition Shadowless Charizard, the holy grail of Pokemon cards, especially if you came in 2020. This is like your dream boat right here. This is what you'd actually get on your knees and try to obtain if you were doing favors for cards. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that people would do. And right here, of course, somebody's going to try to alter that to try to get more money out of it, because the more damage a card has, the cheaper the fuck it is. So why would someone do it like that? But I'm not pointing fingers. I don't know who did it. Maybe Only Hollows got it from somebody who didn't know it was altered. Maybe the PokeHunt.tcg knew that it was altered and still bought it. I don't know. I'm not too sure, but the actual conversation that's being shown right here does suggest that he did not know, the PokeHunt.tcg, that it was altered. We came to an agreement of $5,000. Wait, hold on. Did I hear that fucking right? A first edition Shadowless Charizard is now $5,000 for it to be in relatively okay shape, as they were trying to make it look, whoever altered it, not going to point fingers. $5,000. You remember when people were first hopping back into the hobby and that shit was like $10,000 to $15,000 for a good raw copy, and now we just got... Hold on. Let me put this into perspective for you real quick. So you see this binder right here? You see this lily that my fingers are next to? My dirty ass maintenance fingers right there? You see that? That card is worth about $6,000 raw to the right person. So you mean to tell me I am just as good now as those fucking Poke Elites that go to Collecticon? Oh, move out of the way, Dr. Dumbass. Move out of the way, all those other people. I'm getting a spot at Collecticon now. What the fuck? Let that show you how much vintage has declined and modern is on the rise. It's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. We'll get to that though. Holy shit, 5K? He promised to ship the item overnight. He fulfilled that promise. Unfortunately, upon arrival and upon inspection, you could clearly see that the card was altered. The card had been colored around the corners with a blue tint, obviously to make it seem as if it was in better condition than it was. I've seen some people try to say that this was not altered, maybe it was like a factory error, and that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. You can look at this picture right here and very clearly see the color difference, especially where homie actually drew a circle around it. That is clearly some altered bullshit. Here's another angle of it if you want to get a better look. There's no way that somebody didn't try to take a weird blue Sharpie or a specific paint marker or something and try to make this shit blue. I've seen that, putting that to rest. This isn't even debatable. This shit is altered as fuck. You can clearly see in the high-res photos that the blue tint doesn't match the original Pokemon Blue. He denied that the card was colored. He denies knowing anything about it. It's interesting. He currently has 6 graded first editions for sale. I wonder why he decided to sell this one. Well, I mean, right there, the raw ones are going to sell for a little bit less. Maybe he's trying to fatten up for another purchase. Here's where I can't really point any fingers. Maybe Only Hollows didn't know that it was altered. Maybe the PokeHunt.tcg knew it was altered. I'm not too sure. The conversation suggests otherwise. It is kind of weird and suspicious. That's just something when you're in possession of altered cards. It does happen. But this is what I want to talk about. Here's the talking point. This shouldn't be fucking happening in the first place. Altered cards have no place in the community. Nobody here is certified to work on cards. And the thing that people always say about altered cards that pisses me the fuck off is people are like, oh, I'm making this card better. I'm improving it. I'm making this card better for a collector down the line. No, you're not. You're doing this so you can charge more for the card because you know the better condition, the more you can charge that stuff. If this card was not in the condition that it was being advertised as Charizard, 5K, which that still blows my mind. Wouldn't be charging 5K for that stuff. It'd be like 3K, 2.5K, probably 2K is what I've seen what those go for when they have considerable edge damage and there's whiting along that stuff. It's goofy that people try to act like this is to make the cards better, or it's for the community, or it's to help people out. Fuck no, it's not. It's so that some jackass can make more money and try to pass off a card as a sham. That's what this is. This has nothing to do with somebody helping anybody. If that was the case, they'd be upfront about it. They'd be like, oh yeah, I made this card look a little better. You know, it looks a little better in a slab now and all that stuff. And it's funny that altered cards is now a big thing now that signatures are being wiped off, personalizations and all that. I know it's not as much of an issue anymore, but when that was happening about a couple months back, that was a big-ass deal that cards were getting altered. You know, the card spa, all these people that Rattle talked about, this shouldn't exist. This shouldn't be anything. All this does is hurt every asset of card collecting. All right, investors, put your fucking pitchforks down for a second and put yourself in this situation, right? Now, you get a card. You get a card that you think is good. You try to send that sucker into PSA to try to get some mad money, right? It comes back from PSA, and they kick it back to you as altered. This card has been tampered with, and we cannot grade it. You try to get in touch with that seller. Nothing. PayPal doesn't help you out. They just dropped the ball that day. And you're out of money for a card that you paid money for because you thought it was certified and authenticated as that. Someone was selling it at that condition, and they lied, they altered it, they cheated the system, and now you're out money. Does that sound like fun? Does that sound like something you want to be a part of? Does that sound like something this community needs? No. A collector now has a fucking tampered card. An investor now has a tampered card. A player. This does nothing for anybody. This is a bad thing that happens here. You got people cheating a system to try to get cards in the best condition possible so they can make the most money possible. Don't get this twisted. Don't let anybody tell you that this is for community to make someone have a better looking card. I got nothing against custom cards or where anybody makes like a customized card or art or anything like that, but like altering a card to make it look better is just a sham. You're just trying to make a card look better without any professional experience, and any authenticator or grader who has an inch of salt underneath their nutsack is going to look at that and know it's altered and kick it right back. And whoever at some point down the line is getting this card is going to lose money. Somebody's just going to lose money for a collection, an investment, or anything, man. It's just this helps nobody. This is not good for any person, and I don't know why this is even a topic. Once again, I don't know anything about Only Hollows or the PokeHunt.tcg. This story shouldn't exist, period. This shouldn't happen, period. Nobody should be altering cards. None of you fucks should. None of you guys should be doing that, and it doesn't help anyone. All you're doing is cheating a system, and like people that actually worked hard to preserve their cards, you're just taking a shortcut to the front of the line, trying to get as much money as possible, and trying to just squeeze some nut sacks to get some wallets. That's all you're doing. That's all I got. Let me know how you feel about this bullshit in the comments below, and I'm sure it's going to piss somebody off. Fuck altered cards. If you do that shit, fuck you. I don't like that. You're just hurting people down the line. You're just playing hot potato with a card that's no good. Appreciate it. See you later, virgins.